Just kidding. It's the national top 10.
Because that's more intriguing than the Big Ten of trying to say who's more pathetic. Oh, is it Northwestern? Is it Rutgers? Or is it Michigan State? Well, let's break down the ineptitude rankings. So here's what we're going to do.
Rico ranks serial killers coming up next week.
At number 10, it's the Mike Valenti. I wish I could have gone there, but I went to MSU anyway. Ole Miss.
I am nervous about Ole Miss, and I'll tell you why. The passing game is just not going to get better. Jackson Dart, USC transfer, it's not working. Now, they've gotten by pummeling people on the ground. You can't be one-dimensional in the SEC. And here's the other thing. Kentucky kind of handed them the game 2 weeks ago.
They did.
I'm fine with them being there, but, man, if Lane Kiffin can't turn you into a passing quarterback, you kind of stink.
Kind of looked at Ole Miss schedule, not that great of a schedule. No. And honestly, we won't know what they are until maybe October 29th when they go to Texas A&M. I don't know what Texas A&M is.
Nothing.
But you got Auburn, you got LSU.
Wow.
Yeah. That's where you are right now. So that's why I have them at 10.
All right.
At number 9, we're going out to the West Coast, and I'm going USC.
Won't be there for long.
You got the Fight On Trojans at
at 9. I'll tell you what's going to happen.
At Utah.
They're losing to Utah.
You think so?
Utah is 23-1 against the number. Their last 24 at home. It's a night game. It is a blackout and dark mode engaged. They're wearing all black uniforms. Helmet, jersey, pants, cleats. USC, it's not a great O-line. Cameron Rising is, to me, just as good as Caleb Williams in a whole different way.
Right.
And you know what? USC's been very fortunate with turnover margin.
They have. But
so enjoy your seat at number 9, boys.
No, but here's the thing. If they beat Utah, they're probably going to the college football playoffs.
Oh, wait a minute. That would set up the best uniform game in America being important. USC, UCLA, week before Thanksgiving?
Wait, would people actually show? It's at UCLA, so I wonder if people would actually show up to that game.
Robust 17,000.
They won't.
Okay. At number 8, you know what? It's personal growth. I was wrong. Clemson did not collapse and die. They're still there. At number 8, they haven't really played a ton of people, but they're in the ACC.
And they beat up NC State, who was
supposed to be that team. Yeah. I thought that was going to be the difference maker. Then they followed that up on the road at Boston College, destroyed Boston College.
And that's a red bandana game. Come on now.
Well, you know what? They might as well turn that thing white and wave the flag.
Yeah,
that
it was
thing
bad.
Was over fast.
It was bad. Look, here's the thing.
ACC is still bad.
For Clemson, it's been a tough month. I mean, they win that double OT game against Wake. You go home, you play this huge game against NC State. Then you play Boston College, where the red bandana is for Wells Crowder. You can read about it. Died in 9/11. They play up in that game, so that was emotionally charged. And now
31-3.
Oh no, and look, Clemson handled it. And now Clemson's reward is to go on the road to Florida State, who's lost 2 in a row, and they're only favored by 3.5. Be very careful. Very careful in that game.
Okay. At number 7, David's team, the University of Michigan.
Number 7.
Well, here's the thing.
Let me hear it.
Not a lot of people have played a lot of great schedules. So at this point, the difference maker is the non-conference schedule that you didn't do anything with.
If they beat Penn State.
Now this is a different thing. But for this week, between Michigan, my next team, Tennessee, and the team after that was Penn State. I looked at who they played and what did they do? And I had to give the tip of the cap to the teams that actually went out and did something.
This is movement weekend for those teams.
Yeah.
Those 3 is movement weekend.
So Penn State, Auburn may be horrible, but you went down to the SEC and you did something. So.
Okay. All right.
And Tennessee, my God, I thought last week was the week they were losing. I didn't think they were going to get past at LSU.
Yeah, and the number looked weird, too. I think this week's interesting because, A, we still don't know Bryce Young's status, and B...
Well, and think about this. They also... Florida, they kind of put Florida to bed, and we're not hearing anything about Florida anymore.
Look out for Tennessee if they get Cedric Tillman back, their stud All-American wide receiver. He had that tightrope surgery on his ankle a few weeks back. He was limited last week. He should be back. And then Mincy, their left tackle, should be back this week, too. Look, man, you don't get excuses anymore if you're Tennessee. You've begged to be in games like this.
Right.
You want to be back all the way. Bama's coming to you. This is not vintage Bama. They're good. I just don't think they're Bama good.
Yeah.
You're at home. So don't show your ass.
There's going to be a big shakeup in this next week if we continue this. At number 4, this one's for you, Mike.
What about 5?
I did 5. I said at 6 it was Tennessee. At 5 it's Penn State. 5 is Penn State. Penn State coming into the big house. Penn State has played nothing. It seems like nothing but road games. I don't recall the last time they actually played in Happy Valley.
Problem is the last 2 trips to Ann Arbor for them, I think they've been outscored 90-17.
They have.
Correct.
Now, the thing is, I want to see, because to me, Manny Diaz has this defense. Like, Manny Diaz wants another head coaching job. He doesn't want to go back to Happy Valley next year, so he's hitting the accelerator. That defense is nice on every level. They got a playmaker on D-line, linebacking spot, and back in the secondary.
It's still weird for all the talent they have in that secondary. They give up a good amount of passing yards. It's very bizarre to me. But Diaz's scheme, the way he plays.
But Penn State's an anomaly. I mean, because then, you're like, okay, you go to Northwestern, but you're in the middle of the residuals of a hurricane. You turn it over 5 times. It's Northwestern.
I'll be shocked if they beat Michigan. I'll be shocked.
No, it's fair. But right now, that's the difference between those. At 4, Oklahoma State. They're the best team in the Big 12 right now. They went to Baylor.
3-point dogs at TCU this week.
They are. They took out Texas Tech.
Spencer Sanders has been splendid. There's no doubt. And if you want to see what an NFL front looks like, go watch Oklahoma State play.
For sure.
Their D-line, the super seniors, they got a couple of 6th-year guys up front there, and they eat, man. That front is nasty.
At number 3, your reigning national champions, the Georgia Bulldogs.
Now, why Bama ahead of Georgia?
I have Bama ahead of Georgia because Bama had a test last week, but that was without their quarterback.
And they went to Texas.
Georgia is just kind of sleepwalking through the season. I think Georgia still has the talent, and I don't know if Georgia is just bored and realizes nothing matters but the SEC championship game, and then we'll turn this thing on, or if they're actually deficiencies. Listening to Kenny will tell you that they're just god-awful. But then Jimmy will say Kenny's just young, and that's just Georgia being Georgia. Georgia has not impressed me at all this season. I've been a big fan of Georgia, but Alabama getting it done, Bryce Young finding a way at Texas, even though Quinn Ewers got knocked out the game, because I still say Texas wins that game.
They do.
Ewers is in there. But last week, no Bryce Young. Bama looked mortal, but they made just enough plays in the end to win that game.
I thought they were horrible.
And they still have Will Anderson, who is a beast.
So, and I have Alabama at 2.
The one thing I'll add to the Bama thing, because Rico pretty much said it all, I just think their secondary stinks by Alabama standards.
But even then, I mean, the game came down to a play. The secondary had to step up, and they
Yeah, but it only came down to that play because Haynes King completed like 4 40-yard bombs. What are you doing? Haynes King throws like a 13-year-old. It's ridiculous.
You know what? When the moment came up, they made the play.
Jimbo Fisher
he helped him.
He called a terrible play. Short side at the pylon. That was one of the worst plays you'll ever see.
Not the short side, Jess.
All right, man. All I'll tell you, the best thing about their secondary is one of the kids is named Kool-Aid. Other than that, I'm not impressed. And Bama normally has dudes in the secondary.
Yeah, you know what? I think, I don't know if Bama is just suffering from the fact that, well, we have all these 5 stars, but they're not looking like 5 stars.
They're not playing well. They're not good.
No, and I think only Georgia can come out there and match them talent for talent and actually knock them off. I don't see Tennessee doing this thing. As a matter of fact, I think this is going to be an embarrassment for Tennessee.
Don't look at me, man. I'm not at the game.
So, and number 1, probably the most impressive team out there is Ohio State. First game, they looked sluggish against Notre Dame, and after that, they've been dropping at least 45 points on everybody. That's what we want to see out of Alabama.
And they're doing it without their best player.
I didn't get to that point yet. That's what you want to see out of Georgia. And, yeah, the top receiver, the one that everybody said was better than Garrett and all those guys last year, Jackson Smith-Njigba, hasn't played. Played the first half of the Notre Dame game. Marvin Harrison is now out there looking better than him. You know, Travion Henderson plays sometimes he doesn't. They've rotated.
Mylan Williams has been outstanding.
They've had 3 different backs back there, Mike, and you can't tell because they're destroying teams.
And I will say, I know they haven't played. It's a lot like Michigan in this regard. They haven't played like
they finally went on the road last week.
A bunch of amazing teams,
and half their fan base was there.
No, but what I was saying is like you can see that Jim Knowles has changed their defense. Now, whether it holds up against an elite offense will alert me when they play one, but it feels different. It feels like they have a physicality. It feels like they win up front more. Last year was very finesse.
You know what the difference maker is going to be? The team is in 3 weeks, Penn State is going to really tell us what the Big Ten is because they got Michigan, and then 3 weeks later, they have Ohio State at home.
Just play the game now. They're both 11-0, and let's just play the damn thing.
But Penn State could be the fly in the ointment.
It won't be. It's
Okay.
James Franklin.
You wanna
Penn
do
State
it?
fans don't even like James Franklin.
You want to do another one of these?
What do you want to do?
No, I'm just kidding.
What do you want to do?
I don't want any Penn State swag.
Okay, that's it. I was going to say.
I'll give it to Chapman.
Is anybody out there? 248. All right, go ahead.
I
enjoyed this more than the Big Ten Power Rank because
I
we're
did
talking
too.
actual ball.
Yes.
It got to the point, it was depressing. It truly was.
You know what I do? Can we add something to it?
I felt like I was going to a homeless shelter.
I want you to add the P5 team of the week. The best P5, G5 team or whatever it is.
Group of 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
You like, hey, you're not in the top 10, but you're not in the booty lounge. You're just close right here. Add them to the mix.
Going James Madison, cracking the top
Listen.
25.
Oh, yeah, but they're not eligible for a bowl because they're first year in D1. What a stupid rule.
Dumb thing.
Next.
All right. 97-1.